What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another post-match episode of For the Crew podcast. I'm your host, Brian. I have Matt and Jay with us tonight. We're just going to jump right into this one. But I guess before I do that, Matt, how are you doing?
Do you have to ask that?
Nah. How you doing?
You know, I am sad that the one time that I finally come back to the podcast to do an episode, it is on yet another questionable game, to say the least. So, you know, I could be doing better.
That's good. So. Yeah, I would like to say that I got to do the same thing. I'd be here for an episode where we won, but I don't think anybody actually had a good night, especially those of you in the Nordic. I'm sure you probably had a rough night times two because it was Harry Potter themed night as well, but that's a different topic. Columbus Crew playing at home against Orlando, easily the worst defense in the entire league. They talked about it how many times throughout the game. Drawing 1-1 at home. Crew set up in a 4-4-2. Schulte in the back. Marrero, Camacho, Zawatsky, Amundsen across the back line. Herrera, Chambeau, Gomez, or Gomesh, or whatever you want to say. I don't know. Arfstead, and then up top, Diego Rossi, and the now on the reserve or like injury, whatever you want to call that, Abu Ali. So that's not good. But your goal's coming. I'm pulling stuff up. Marco Pasalic for Orlando City in the 15th. That was a great goal. And then Diego Rossi pulls one back in the 8th minute from a beautiful assist from Taha Habaroun. I don't really have much to say about this game. I have thoughts about certain things. This team sucks. I'm going to say this team is trash. It's you know, last week we had a good win. I think it's easy to say that we played an even more trash Atlanta team. And I forget who it was. I think it was only SB was like, don't drink the Kool-Aid. And I was like, dude, I'm drinking. And I sent like things to Frank the Tank. Just doing his little thing. I'm chugging it. He's like blowing in the beers. I'm like, I'm chugging it. Little did I know that drinking the Kool-Aid meant that I would die.
Dang.
Look,
they put a little tequila in your Kool-Aid.
I'm gonna just start coming in hot. But who was it that asked how many games is this now? What game is this for the season?
7.
7? Yeah.
And we have 1 win in 7 games.
1 win, 3 draws, 3 losses.
Yeah.
And none of them at home either.
None of them at home, I have a lot of questions for this organization right now. It's not like I get it. You're going to say, oh, it's 7 games. Great. That's fantastic. The fact is, though, is that it's not even like, oh, man, we played really hard and like we played tough games. We played a tough opponent. We just play like crap. All 7 of those games, minus the Atlanta game, because they're worse than we are. But we played in an Orlando team that, what is their goal differential right now? Like it is astronomical.
I think it's like a negative 18.
Yeah. They got beat like 6-0 last week. And they came.
I think they were 16-0 for the longest, weren't they? They went scoreless for a while.
This is their first away goal of the season.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, they are. Their goal differential is 6-24. They have a negative 18.
Negative 18. Yep.
Ridiculous.
That's insane.
Let's get into a few things though, because I don't want to just have that visceral, like, is that the word I want to use? I don't even know if that's what it is. Reaction right off the bat. What are some of the biggest takeaways from this game, aside from the fact that Abu Ali most likely tore his, what did I say, LCL or
LCL? Yeah, LCL.
Or maybe
I mean,
he's going to be ACL.
He's probably going to go until after World Cup.
I mean, I've got an opinion on just specifically him in that case. We should have taken him off during the first injury. It makes
100%.
absolutely zero sense. We kept him out there when he clearly looked like he was in pain. I mean, they said they could hear him scream like out there, like on the pitch, actually. It makes no sense we kept him out there the whole time. They should have took him off immediately.
An injury. They definitely made the injury worse by letting him go back.
Yeah. Well, and the issue too. You're cutting out and you're cutting in and out a little bit. What do you say?
Oh no, I was just saying that falls on Rudstrom, aka Rudy.
I don't even know it's just him. It's the medical staff as well. It's like it. I'm sure he was like, I want to keep playing, but you have to be able to tell your player no. Like when you go down
game. So what was the point?
When you go down with a non-contact injury, that should be it. That should be it.
100%.
Like, don't even test that, especially when it's your only player that scores goals.
Well,
like
Diego scores, but
we have 9 goals this season, and 5 are Abu Ali, 3 are Rossi, and 1's Arfston. That's it.
True.
Over half of our goals are Abu Ali.
Yeah.
And we played around with that, and we lost. Like, we didn't lose the game, but we lost the Abu Ali. And yeah.
Sorry, it's tough because obviously this is where we're starting with this, because I think that this is the most detrimental thing that is happening to this team right now. Aside from another loss. Anytime that there is a non-contact injury, it absolutely 100% should be you were done for the night, regardless of however he feels, because now if it made the injury worse, that's twice as long of a recovery time because he wanted to be out there. And again, to reiterate, he wasn't making that much of an impact anyways in this game. So why not do that?
I mean, the season isn't over with this one game. We could have it's better to save it for a rainy day than just lose them all together for the rest of the season. Yeah. Like, we're in a bad spot, but our season wouldn't have been really over, from this point onward. So
because now we are stuck until the summer transfer window. If we needed somebody to fill that spot, if he's going to leave, or which I still think that he very well could do, or if he's not going to be ready, like we have, or what are we going to play? Jamal Tiari is our main striker up top for the rest of the season. Are we going to play Akinzunde or whatever his name is? Like maybe. It was a very bad decision by the medical training staff and by Richard, who gets the final say on that. And I have to admit, I'm really disappointed. What I will say though too is that normally when we watch these games, we talk about how much we hate the Apple TV commentary, and having Taylor Twellman on there, people are very opinionated. There were a lot of good things that came from him tonight, and a couple I want to talk about. Here's one thing that I think was really eye-opening for me listening to him talk, and he said the Columbus Crew are not. I should have like wrote it down, but basically it was to the extent of the Columbus Crew are playing reactionary to what Orlando is doing and not their. And I think that has been the problem for us all season, is that we are playing reactionary, which you have to. I understand that, but it's like we're not playing our game. We're not standing on foot. We are getting ourselves backed in the corner and playing reactionary to whatever team it is that we are playing. And I just want to get your guys' thoughts on that, because it's really simple, but like it was kind of profound to me to be like, you know what? That's a good way to describe this team. Like we're not playing the way that we should be playing because we're too busy trying to, catch up, essentially.
Matt, do you mind if I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's a great statement. You can just see, so, it's important to be reactionary in pretty much any situation. You have to adapt to, how the game is being played, like in the moment. That's a necessity no matter what, right? But it shows, especially in like our offense, where we get ball possession, we consistently lose it. We don't really know how to finish a lot of our situations. And I unironically said this in the first podcast episode I was in like 7 episodes ago, but we don't have an actual game plan throughout the game. It never looks like we have any coordination on what we're actually doing and what our end goal is, and we just look confused half the time. We get ball possession, we get set up really good, we get good corner kicks, and then we pass it back behind us again, and we just kind of like restart.
Dude,
we don't have any direction.
Corner kick was so frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want to know what else frustrating. Let's talk about don't seem like we have a game plan. Let's talk about Dylan Chambeau's. Is that what you're talking about?
The corner. Yeah, his corner kick.
I thought he was just kicking from out from on the wing.
That free kick was bad too. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if it was atrocious. But couldn't tell if it was a shot or a pass.
That corner kick. Even Taylor Twellman is like, "What are y'all doing?" And I just don't get it, man. How do we go from being this powerhouse team to being easily starting to become one of the what feels like the laughing stock of MLS as far as like?
I mean, I can give you my answer for that.
Sure.
And I have a solution to that answer that's going to make Brian hate me, but I'm going to wait till Matt says what he's going to say.
So this is going back a few years. That our last real year of being like a dominant team was 2024, right? Last year we barely made the playoffs. Yeah. And so obviously, of course, Cucho was a unicorn. You're not going to find a player like that very often in this league.
He shot rainbow sparkle sunshine goals in his butt.
Yeah, exactly. But also, we had the best GM in the league, one of the best coaches in the league, the best center mid in league history, all on the same team at the same time. Before that, we even had probably the best center mid homegrown the league's ever had in Aiden Morris. And we did nothing to replace. We replaced them with other players, obviously, but we didn't replace the quality.
Yeah.
And so every single time one of those players left, we got worse. And
well, to be fair, though, and even Taylor Tolman brought that up again tonight in the Terry, you're not going to find a replacement for Darlington.
No, you're not. And honestly, Andre Gomez isn't a bad replacement for him.
No.
But we still have an issue with defending in transition. We still have issues with creating in the final third. And I think Cucho kind of band-aided over some of those issues that we would have had if he wasn't there. Yep. And we don't have proactive players now. We have a lot of guys who are facilitators who will pass the ball around, but no one actually wants to finish anything.
That's what I was going to... Just to add on to your point, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I was going to ask, do you think we lack a little bit of leadership like out there right now? I feel like with an older player like Darlington Dabby, I came into this new, but from what I've come to understand, he was great in terms of like that leadership role. Looks like do we have anybody? Yeah, he was the captain, of course. So yeah. Do you think we lack that right now? Like, we lack that one guy we can kind of rely on to come up with a game plan for us, like on the fly? Or
I think Sean Swansky is that guy. There's a reason for it, but it doesn't fall on him. And like, I don't want to sit here and try to pick apart what the problem is, what the personnel problem is. Like,
right. That's something we can't fix right now.
We don't have.
We're not in a window. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing looking at FOTMob, if you saw the momentum chart, you'd be very frustrated as a Columbus Crew fan.
How we can score a second.
From the 25th minute till the rest of the game, we had control of the ball basically, and we did nothing. We did nothing with it.
That's true.
We had 65% possession in this game. Orlando had the ball for 35% of the time.
Fantastic. That doesn't matter when you don't score goals.
Yeah, exactly. It means nothing. But when you have the ball that much, you have to create something. Like, having the ball that much without creating means nothing.
We don't have anybody that can shoot. There are also plenty of opportunities tonight for people to take shots, and they're always looking for that last final little pass. It's like a cut in, and it doesn't work. And Steven Marrera had one specifically, and he decided to try to pass it through, I think, to like Diego. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, rip that. I don't do it.
I said this in the server earlier. It just looks like we're kind of playing scare. Like, no, everybody's afraid to kind of like make a mistake, so we end up making more mistakes in the process.
Well, and the thing too is, Rudstrom said that either last week or the week before. He's like, nobody wants to. I don't know the exact quote. Basically was saying nobody wants to take charge. Like, everyone's timid. And
you know the solution to that? You're the freaking manager. Do something about it.
I think to a point it doesn't matter if the players don't have the mentality for it. And I don't think a lot of these guys do. And I think if he sticks around,
get rid of them, or you need a coaching change.
Well, that's what I say.
I've made the argument, and it's like, dude, I'm not talking about bringing Wolford Nancy back, right? we're 7 games in though. We look like crap. And I know that bringing in a new manager is not the way to do it, but like I'm starting to lean towards that train of like, I just don't think that he's the fit right now. And like, if you can't change the players, you can change the manager rather quickly because you can't transfer players in and out. You got to work with what you have. And if it's not coming down from the top and it's like, hey, nobody's taking charge, you are the manager of this football club. You make somebody be in charge.
You know what I think we should do?
Responsibility as a manager. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying we have other players.
Guy sitting behind the table in the meme that says "Change my mind."
Well, it says we have 30 players on this roster. Bench guys. If they're not going to be able to do it, throw on someone else.
We do. Also, before we go any further, I just want to let everybody know, if you did not get to watch the game tonight, Daniel Gazdag is still alive and playing the game. And as soon as he came on, I was like, I can't wait to have 10 opportunities on goal that he's going to miss. And sure enough, he missed like 4.
We had 20 total shots that entire time also.
Yep. We had 8 of them were blocked.
Crazy to think about. That's insane.
I think Krupo did very well tonight.
We had 3
really
more
good.
block shots than they had shots, period.
True. But I will also say Max Arfston should have had a better finish. That should have been a good game, in my opinion.
I think this was his worst game of the season.
You can't shoot it straight at Krupo. Like, you can't do that. That's what he did. He literally just shot it straight on the far post in the upper corner.
Yeah, I will say I wasn't sure about Habrun coming on for Abu Ali, but I thought Habrun had a very good game. I think he should have had 3 assists if our players could actually finish.
Yeah.
He ended up with 1, and the assist he had was excellent. That scoop pass it reminded me of Scalotto to Hayduk in the 2008 final. But I don't know. There's not a whole lot of players on this team that I feel confident that when they get the ball, we're going to do something.
I will say, whoever it was in the chat, it said it's time to call up Chase Adams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we have a bunch of guys on this that can play on the first team that have first team contracts, whether it's him or Zach Zenge.
Start playing some of these young guys, because if these guys making millions of dollars are not going to start pulling their weight and playing well.
Well, and I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, they're not ready." I mean, are they ready to get 5?
Look at half of the guys in the starting 11.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
is our starting 11 ready?
we've gotten 6 out of a possible 21 points this season.
That's insane.
And so, if they can't do it, if we put on the young guys and they lose, it's not any different than what we're doing already.
At that pace, we're going to be eliminated from MLS Cup playoff contention by the time the World Cup happens. Right.
It's like maybe not mathematically, but realistically, yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, but
but like, it's just I don't understand what Well, it's not even just I don't understand. I don't think they understand what they're doing.
No. And I wanted to point out, I told my wife the other day, when we were driving to an event with our kids, and we drove past the stadium, and I was like, it's really interesting, though, that the first game that we played after we announced that Bez was coming back, we won. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then I was like, dude, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, man. It's because Bez is here. And then we played like we played tonight. But I know that doesn't actually have any correlation with anything. But it was still funny to think about. And I mean, like I said, I don't have much to say about this game. It's another lackluster draw that we probably should not have even gotten, because I don't feel like we really earned it.
I will say Rossi's goal was fantastic. His shot.
It was really good. Yeah.
But I think it was Nate that was like, "Why are we celebrating?" That goal. Yeah. But it's nuts, man. We had a 1.18 xG as opposed to their 0.61, which like, I don't know. Again, it's, you know, compound that Abu Ali being hurt now. Yeah, I have some thoughts about that too. I don't know that I actually look at his stats enough. Sometimes I think he's like super selfish and trying to score. Yeah, sometimes.
No, I don't think he's a team guy at all.
No, I don't think he is.
I think he's very good at scoring goals.
Yeah, I have noticed though that it's like the times where it's like oh, you should shoot instead of trying to pass it off, and then we do that as opposed to you should not shoot and you should try to pass it off. Those are the ones that he shoots.
Yeah.
He had one today, and I'm like, dude, you had somebody making a run. Like, it made way more sense to do that and try to put a ball through than try to take one from outside of the box when you are closed down by 2 or 3 guys. Like,
he had one last game too, where he had 4 guys on him, and he decided he's going to shoot.
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
and that's why as much as it sucks to have him be out as a DP. With injury now, like, call up those guys like Chase Adams that are willing to do that. And if it starts working, then guess what? I think there's a little bit of competition even at a DP spot for like whatever. Maybe that motivates him a little bit more to start being like, all right, cool. Well, he's not going to lose his spot, but it's like, all right, well, maybe I need to change what I'm doing a little bit. And sometimes I think that he can do that and he doesn't, but
I mean, we have nothing to lose at this point.
Not at all.
There's one thing I kept mentioning in the chat during the game that I want to bring up, but I feel like I don't remember the last time I've seen us give away the ball as easily as we did tonight. There were so many times where the ball got passed to us and we just made a bad touch and went straight to an Orlando player. Or we were dribbling and an Orlando player just ran right behind us, came around, took the ball. I mean, even on Orlando's goal, their possession started because Camacho got the ball and it just bounced off his foot to an Orlando player. And then they went down the field. And honestly, the way they went down the field and scored, there was nothing special about that play. It was a long ball and a cross and a shot. There was no creativity that made it hard for us to defend it. We just didn't do our job.
Yep.
And honestly, that's even more frustrating than even if we lost this game to 2 really good goals. Like, we tied this game, but that goal should never have happened. And it just feels like that's like that's the team. The team doesn't have, and it feels like it's a mentality issue from game 1. Like, at that level, you know how to control a pass. So why aren't you doing it? Like, I don't know. It's really frustrating because it doesn't make sense to me. There's the actual like way to fix it is just do your job. And
sell the farm, dude. I don't care.
Yeah,
it's clean house after the season. I don't even care.
We outshot them 15-2 in the second half.
Yeah,
and we scored 1 goal.
Like I said earlier, it's a confidence issue. I mean, they look like they have zero energy throughout pretty much the entire game. There's no energy. Nobody looks excited to be there to play with one another. Like, they're all just 11 guys that happen to be working at the same building, and that's really all about it.
Here's one thing, though. I want to come back around to this because I have thoughts. So when we talk about good old Coach Rudy, how long? I'm just gonna say, I hate saying I can call him Rudstrom, but why not call him Rudy? I know we have Camacho, but whatever. How long do we give him?
I think you give him through the summer. Honestly, I don't think that might be the right answer, but I think that's what we're gonna do.
Here's why I say that. Again, I have been on board with like, dude, a coaching change is not going to change things, and it probably won't. But it's a change that you can make that potentially could, because you have somebody's different tactics to develop and use your players how you need to. I don't think that they're going to throw out the system out the window yet and throw him out the window yet.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm just going to go out and say I'm a hypocrite. I'm a liar because I have been on board with that whole time, and now I'm starting to change my mind, even though I know it's not going to fix anything. I'm just trying to rationalize something.
Yeah.
We as fans have a right to hold him accountable, and I think that we should be. Now, again, I don't want Wolford Nancy back. No offense. I'm not even saying that I would be on board for that, even if you wanted to. But, you know, when he went to Celtic, those fans and the board held him accountable to the 7 games he played that he played like crap.
Yeah.
We are now at game 7, and we are playing like crap. So, to say that, though, for Celtic, they also brought back their old manager, and magically, as soon as they made changes to their system, they started winning games.
Yeah.
So how is that? Like, I feel weird how, like, we as fans should be holding him to the same accountability. That I just use that as an example because that's one that we talked about a lot, and that's one that we saw because of his former coach. It is really the same situation. Like, at what point do we start holding him accountable?
I jumped for a second because I heard a really loud Windows noise in my ear, but I was gonna ask, so since I'm still, kind of learning the ways of like the way that, crew plays as a whole, what exactly is the strategy here? What's the philosophy that Roostrom's going for?
I don't even know.
Well, it's weird to me because what I saw from him with his old clubs isn't what we're doing. No. And I don't know if that's because it's taking time to. Well, he did say in I saw an interview he did. It was posted this week where he was saying he didn't like worry as much about how he play in possession because from what he saw with Nancy, he thought it was going to be enough to bring that in slowly. But he said he realized now that it's not working the way that he wants it to work. And he has to change a lot of the mindset of the players because Nancy's system was so ingrained in the way that they play right now that it doesn't fit the way that Roostrom wants to play. And
that's his responsibility to change it, though.
Well, it's also the responsibility of the players.
Well, guess what? If you don't change his system, you don't play. Plain and simple.
I get that, but I'm saying, what do you do if they're not getting it? And say because he tried to start with Nancy's system the first 2 games of the season, and we lost to Portland and tied Kansas City, who up to this point have 3 wins between the 2 of them. Like, they're not good teams. And we used Nancy's system to start the season, and it wasn't working. And so what do you do with those players? Like, you can't get rid of them right now. You can't if he doesn't feel like the guys who are coming in later are able to do it either, you have to wait until the window, or you fire him, hire a new coach with a roster that's built by Nancy for Nancy's system. And unless you go back to playing Nancy's system, you don't have the players to play another way. And Nancy built a roster that doesn't fit any other way other than the way he wanted to play.
So what you're saying is that
the roster build's trash, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so then we can move on and say, okay, cool. Like, we can give Rudy some more time, but it ultimately falls on the Haslams and Isatal. Shocker.
Right. Like, I think that's one thing that most fans who've been paying attention to this team will agree on, is that Isatal has not done a good enough job.
No, he's not.
Yeah, it's not. It's obvious that he's new to this, and at least new to being the head of it, and he's not doing a good enough job to honestly to keep that job. I think if he was in
then it falls on Haslams to make a change.
But who keeps the Haslams accountable? Nobody. And we've seen with what they do with the Browns. Like, yeah, it just took a while for us to get there. You were about to say something.
Oh shoot! I completely lost my train of thought. I was gonna. Well, this is a question for Brian. I was gonna ask him, if we get rid of Roostrom, who do we replace him with?
That's the thing. It probably will end up being our assistant coach, which who used to be the Crew 2 coach. Okay. But he's one of the assistants. His name's Laurent Courtois. He actually coached at Montreal last year and got fired. I don't think he's good enough either. But the thing is, he would probably go back to what Wilfred Nancy did, but I don't think this club evolves if we just keep going back to the best.
Well, I was thinking about the Wilfred Nancy argument. His system didn't work with Celtic. Yeah. His old system started dying off with us a while back. It's like clearly anything in relation to that, we need to move on because it isn't working here. He tried to make it work there. We need to just leave that in the past. Players need to move on from it. Mm-hmm. It's not working at all.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's really frustrating because I thought we had some of the players that would like gravitate to this new system. Yeah,
adapter.
Like I thought Picard would be like, oh yeah, this is the way I want to play. I thought Arston would do really well with this. He's not really catching on to it. I don't know. But the thing is, with the whole argument of like, oh, Celtic got rid of their coach after 7 games when he's not doing well. I don't think we can have the same mindset in MLS.
Brian, this question was for you. Should I ask him, or do you want to finish what you're going to say?
No, go ahead.
Brian, in the event that we do end up getting rid of Mr. Rudy, do you have any idea in mind of who you replace him with, or do we just go with our assistant coach?
This is just me venting.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have a solution for you. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a solution. We go the Inter Miami route, but instead of picking up Messi, we get Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. That's it. That's how we fix this, guys.
That's how we fix this.
Yeah.
And then we turn into a multi-billion-dollar club. We can buy whoever we want, and we're good to go.
And nobody will be able to go to games because the prices will just skyrocket.
Yeah, it'll be just like Inter
It'll be just like Inter Miami. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian had to leave. His kids are, well, they're kids, so he's got to leave to make sure they're okay. Yeah, his kids are kids, so he just got me and Matt. Matt, one question I just brought up to you was, I wonder what the player relations are like outside of the pitch, because the energy, the body language, nobody seems comfortable with anybody. Like, do you think there are like what do you think the locker room's like? Like, do these guys get along outside of when they're playing, or
it's weird? I mean, I think we've talked about. I don't know if you've been on those episodes where we talked about like when it's not going well. It felt like Abu Ali kind of isolated himself. And then like, some of these guys have been playing together for a while.
Yep.
It's like Zawaski and Habrun have both come through the academy. Schulte has been there for a while. Moreira's been here for 4 years, so they know each other. And but I don't really feel like when Cucho was here, I felt like Cucho and Rossi had a real big connection.
Right.
There's been those little connections throughout the field, but it doesn't really feel like that right now. It kind of, I think you mentioned it earlier. It kind of feels like a bunch of guys who work together trying to figure it out. And and honestly, like thinking about it, that is kind of that's on Rudstrom. Like a part of that is bringing your team together and getting them all under the same like philosophy and way of playing and getting them all on the same page. And it doesn't feel like they're on the same page right now.
Right.
Okay. I said it before too, but I really do think there's a lot of nostalgia in the Crew fan base right now where we think, oh, bring back Nancy and it'll fix it. But it wasn't good last year. There's a lot of signs of it going bad last year.
I don't know if this is I don't know if when I mentioned this earlier, if this was when we were recording or not. I don't think it was. This might have been when Brian was walking away. My thing is, the Nancy system didn't work in Celtic. The remnants that we have of that system aren't working now, and it barely worked, if at all, last season. I think we really got to find something new to kind of grasp what and move on from, because it's just any remnants of this seem to be a plague on our mindset right now.
Yeah, and especially since it's a very different system. Like it, honestly, so I don't know if you paid too much attention to Nancy when he was at Celtic. But he, in the first, what do you call it, press conference, whatever, he had said he's not going to change too many things too quickly.
Right.
And he pretty much lied. He tried to change a lot of stuff real fast.
Yeah. That's what a lot of my Celtic viewers told me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we're kind of going through that here now, where the way he wants to play is so different than what Nancy did that he's like, we got to get there fast. And I don't know if he knows how to go from what Nancy did to what he wants to do in a manner that is like paced well enough so that we're not falling apart, but also slowly changing into what we want to be. And it felt like he tried that at first. And like I said, we lost to Portland, who just got their second win of the season yesterday. And then we tied Kansas City, who I think has one win on the season.
Yep.
And those are teams
what do we
that
sit in power rankings right now?
We were like 24 or something like that.
Yeah, if continue what you were saying, I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, no, you're good. But like, it's just, it doesn't feel like there's. I feel like I'm just saying the same things over and over. But it
this has been the theme for the last few podcasts.
Well, it has been, and that's really frustrating. I apologize to listeners because you probably feel like you're listening to the same things over and over. But it doesn't feel like the solution is apparent. Like, it doesn't feel like we have like, oh, this is, if we fix this, we'll be good. Because there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. And yeah, and I don't know. I don't know where we go from with where we're at right now.
What are our plans with like Gazdag? Like, what are we doing with him really?
Who knows? Who knows? Like,
we got 8 million. How much is this contract? 4 million, 8 million? Which one was it?
I think it's
Abu is 8 million. Yeah. Abu is 8 million. We've got $4 million just chilling on the bench for like how many games in a row consistently? With barely any play time. He
started the first game. No, I think one of the two games. The first and second game, he started one and he came off the bench on the other one. And then he went 4 games without playing at all. And then came off the bench today.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty obvious that Rudstrom doesn't rate him. Like, I mean, even when he came on today, the first thing that was said in the chat was like, oh, here we go. He's going to get like 6 chances and miss them all. And I think it ended with 3. Yeah. And I don't know. It's a weird thing because, again, I feel like it's a confidence issue. Excuse me. Because he keeps getting in good positions. Gazdag is great at getting in the right spot. But same thing with possession. It doesn't matter how many times that happens if you don't finish it.
Right.
And and I think that comes down to a confidence thing. What's probably going to happen is someone's going to score a goal off their hip, and they're going to be like, that will break it. And but until then, I don't know. It's just a mess to me. And
I guess it's important that we maybe we should look at who do we have coming up next? Who are we playing next on our road?
We have an Open Cup game. We have an Open Cup game on Wednesday.
Richmond Kickers
against the Richmond Kickers. I'm expecting us to play a B team against them.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I knew that we were going to come into this game and tie this, I would have said, play the B team today, put the A team on against the Kickers, get some confidence against a third division team that hasn't won a game in their league yet. But I'm half expecting us to put out start Gazdogs, start I don't know. I expect us to make that a hard game for us to win somehow.
Right.
Which is frustrating in itself. I think the last time we played in the Open Cup, we lost to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds from USL Championship. And it's a mess. This club is a mess right now. And
then after that, we've got 3 more home games against LA Galaxy, Philadelphia, and Minnesota. I mean, like, LA Galaxy, we have a chance, maybe, but I don't know.
Well, and Philly just won their first game of the season yesterday.
Yeah.
But honestly, the way we're going right now, I expect us to finish this season in 11th place.
Yeah.
I expect us to be ahead of Atlanta, ahead of Philly, ahead of Montreal, and maybe one other team.
Yep.
And that's it. Like, those are the only teams that I feel like are in a worse spot than we are. Maybe Orlando. Maybe Orlando won't pass us up. But we don't look like a team that's going to get anywhere near the playoffs right now.
No.
And I know there's a lot of people in the Crew fandom that don't like the negative talk and the doom and gloom, but it's like there's nothing positive to pull out of this.
I don't even think it's doom and gloom. I mean, we're just
It's
paying
not doom
attention to
and
what's
gloom.
been happening. It's literally it's what we've been watching for the last 7 games. I mean, what are we supposed to say? Like, I mean, like we did great with passing. We had some decent defense. I mean, like we can only say that how many times in a row?
Yeah,
You know,
and like we just said multiple times already, it doesn't matter if we don't score goals. We could have 90% possession, 50 shots in a game. If we don't win it, who cares?
Right.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just really frustrated with this team, and I don't like. I kind of hope that this Richmond game is a little jumpstart for us, but I'm just not confident that it will be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to add to this. You know, like we always say, go Crew, but it's go Crew with a voice crack. You know.
Yeah. We'll just end it here. It's really frustrating. Yeah. There were a couple things out left in the game, but we're at the point right now where it doesn't even matter to talk more into it. We know what the issues are. At least we got a point, but that's a game we needed to win. The same thing we said with Kansas City. That's a game we needed to win. Portland, that was a game we needed to win. Like,
I mean, we desperately need a home win. That's the biggest thing. Like, at least for like public morale, we need a home win so badly.
We went 5 halves of soccer without scoring at home.
What did the commentary say? 260-ish minutes. That was the first time. It took us 260 minutes to score our first home goal.
Yeah, it's against the worst defense in the league. It's just bad. But yeah, okay. Well, I'll just end it there. We have a game against the Richmond Kickers at midweek in the U.S. Open Cup. We will have an episode after that game. Until then, please follow us on whatever socials. We're on everything. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're streaming on Spotify and Audible and Apple Music and Amazon everything. We're everywhere.
Everything. Yeah. We're everywhere.
National Soccer Network as well. So yeah, check us out there. But until then, go Crew, and hopefully we'll be talking about a Richmond win next. Well,
go
not
Crew,
a Richmond win. A win against Richmond.
A win against Richmond, yeah. Go Crew. We'll see you guys later.
Peace.
For the Crew podcast,